We're facing the deadliest flu season since 2019. More than 150,000 cases have been confirmed, over 1,000 people hospitalised, and already 107 deaths.
We have a mixture of flu A and flu B, and while the actual numbers are greater of flu A cases so far this year, it's the flu B that's causing more trouble, particularly for the children.
Two families left heartbroken after a New South Wales Central Coast teenager and an 11-year-old girl from Queensland died from the flu. Both girls had influenza B strain. Hospitals seeing a sharp rise in children being admitted. 69% of those presenting are under 16. New South Wales and Queensland experiencing the highest number of hospitalisations.
Since the 1st of July, 78 children have been admitted to hospital in Queensland with influenza, and only one of those 78 children was vaccinated.
And it's nationwide. Vaccination rates down in every state and territory by almost 18%.
So I think for a lot of people, they're just a little bit fatigued in terms of hearing about infectious diseases and vaccination. And I think people have also lost sight of the significance of the flu virus.
Parents urged to vaccinate their children. Just 22% of kids aged 6 months to 5 years are vaccinated against the flu, and only 13% of 5 to 16-year-olds.
The COVID pandemic over the last 3 years has meant that many children have not been exposed to the influenza virus, so they're encountering this virus for the first time.
And with school heading back from holidays, experts are warning the worst could be yet to come.
I don't think we're at the peak yet, and I think we'll have a peak that might be very similar to what we did see in 2019, which means for the next few weeks we're still going to see an increase in cases.
Paediatrician Dr. Daniel Gashevsky, better known as Dr. Golly, joins us now. Hi, Dr. Golly. Why aren't people getting their kids vaccinated?
Yeah, it's a really good question. The short answer is we don't know exactly, but we're seeing some of the lowest rates of coverage in years. It's probably multifactorial, and one of the main reasons we think is something that I put down to vaccine fatigue. You know, we've been talking about vaccines through the COVID pandemic ad nauseum, and to be honest, I think people are just sick and tired of hearing about it. The other thing that may be a factor is that children actually came out unscathed, generally speaking, when it comes to COVID. And I think parents might be carrying a little bit of that mentality through to influenza. But it's really important that we remember that they are two extremely different viruses.
For most Australians getting the flu vaccine, you still have to pay, maybe the pharmacist, or you need a GP appointment in order to get it. Could that be a barrier? Should we make all of that free?
Look, I absolutely agree. I think that may be a barrier. It's free for certain age groups, so it's free for children 6 months through to 5 years. It's also free for pregnant women. It's free for those over the age of 65, the immunocompromised, and for First Nations people. But as we're seeing with this particular strain in this season, it's actually quite dangerous for adolescents. So I absolutely agree with you. We should be making this free for all Australians.
We're midway through winter, so there's kind of light at the end of the tunnel, kind of, so to speak. Do you think that's playing on parents' mind? Is it too late to get your kids a flu jab?
That's one of the most common misconceptions about flu, because we might be midway through winter, but flu season is actually August, September. So this is exactly when you should be getting vaccinated, because we're just coming out of RSV season. We haven't even entered flu season proper yet. So it's really, really important that people understand flu season is not winter. It's as we're coming out, and this is when you need to get vaccinated.
And that's the problem, right? Because my kids, they're bringing home all sorts of different lurgies at the moment, and you're not supposed to give a child a vaccine if they're sick, right?
Well, you can. It depends how unwell they are. If they've just got a little bit of a cough and cold, they're not too unwell, they don't have a raging fever, they can be given the vaccine.
My kids are in for a treat this weekend.
Dr. Golly, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.